The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, is brought to you by, well, of course, you. If you want to learn more about how you can support the show, go to patreon.com/thearena_podcast.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Hey everyone, welcome into The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. This is episode 59. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burly of BurlyMenGaming on Twitch. Burly, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. The weather's getting colder now, so moving all of my winter clothes out into the closet and doing all that stuff, and work has been a little busy, this past week. Second semester in the schools started. So for us teachers, it's a little bit busy right now. How about for you?
It's starting to get a little cooler. I'm loving it. Hoping this week to finally take my air conditioner out. Because every time I've almost come close to taking it out, then you get the heat and the humidity comes back, and it's like, fuck, I don't want to do this, and rip it out, and then we're up to 30 degrees.
That's probably not going to happen again,
yeah.
Yeah. So, and our other co-host, Turn-Based Carl, he's off this week. He will be back with us next week. So for this episode, we're going to be talking about the Golden Joystick Award 2021 nominations. We're going to look at those a little bit. Xbox, a lot of news for Xbox this week. Their 20th anniversary event was announced. Also, Xbox Game Pass subscriptions. We're going to talk about those. And no VR coming to Xbox Series X. What a surprise. We'll be talking about that a little bit as well. Another big game delay, as well as our topic of the show. We're going to be talking about February of 2022, which is going to be a huge conundrum and could be a possible nightmare for a lot of gamers out there trying to pick what they're going to play. And of course, our new game releases for the week of October 25th through the 31st. But before that, and before we talk about the games that we've been playing this week, here's a word about where you can find the podcast.
Before the crew discuss what they have been playing, this episode of The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, and the post-show will be going to Patreon in early access for one day after recording. So if you would like to support the show and become a patron at the entry tier 1 level at $1 per month, and get early access to every episode and post-show, as well as listen ad-free, please visit patreon.com/thearena_podcast for further details. Weekly on Sundays, the podcast will be uploaded to all free podcast services. Weekly on Wednesdays for the post-show, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, Spotify, Amazon Music, and on Expat's YouTube channels, Expat YouTube Gaming and The Arena Citadel. Just download your favorite podcast app or open Spotify and search for The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a Discord called The Arena Podcast, where you can join and chat with the Arena Podcast community, and the podcast website is at thearenapodcast.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. Finally, you can also follow us on Twitter at The Arena, AMPGNP, as well as on Instagram at TheArena_podcast. Now, back to the show.
Okay, Burly, let me tell you about the games I've been playing. Of course, I played the Dark Pictures anthology Little Hope this week. It's the second in the Dark Pictures anthology series. Of course, the first was Man of Medan. And of course, Little Hope came out last year. but I wanted to play it because the next game is actually being released today, actually yesterday, as of the time of this recording. It came out yesterday now. It's called House of Ashes. And I also put a game preview video up on my YouTube channel, Expat YouTube Gaming, so please check that out. But Little Hope, it's you kind of think of the Blair Witch type of scenario when you play this game. It's basically set, the prologue of the story is kind of like in the 1940s or 1950s or something like that. And then you jump to the present day, and the story focuses on this area of Massachusetts called Little Hope. And back in the late 17th century, they had witch trials in this small town, similar to the Salem witch trials. And the game completely focuses on that and the characters that are trying to survive through the game. It really kind of reminds me of Until Dawn. Of course, Supermassive Games created this game along with Until Dawn. It really reminds me of Until Dawn, whereas you're trying to survive through the night. You're walking. It's almost like a walking sim where you're walking through thick fog. You're trying to get from point A to point B, and you're running into these these homes of people from the late 17th century, these churches that were basically abandoned back in the 1970s. So Little Hope basically ceased to exist in the 1970s. And so you're like going through these old buildings, and you're looking for clues and information. And of course, just like in Man of Medan, you have the kind of like, I don't know what he's called, the caretaker or something like that. He's in the library, and after every chapter, it's like it goes back to him, and he gives you like comments on the decisions you make in the game, whether or not, they were good decisions or not. And he sometimes will give you a particular clue as to how you can manage your way through the next chapter of the game. It's fun to play. There's some jump scares, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's kind of like a walking sim. And then the situations where you encounter the monsters, you have to take the left thumbstick and then position it in the center where the target is, and then hit the trigger button. And if you don't do that in time, then you're going to probably die. And then, of course, the decisions you make within the game determine whether all of your, the players that you have, there's 5 characters that you control at certain times during the game. And all of them could die, or none of them would die. They would all survive, or some of them could die. In my game, out of the 5 characters, 3 survived, 2 died. So, and of course, this game has, multiple replay value to it. You can get multiple endings to this game. So yeah, another good game from Supermassive. I highly recommend it if you have not played the Dark Pictures anthology series. Especially if you've played Man of Medan, you'd probably know this game is quite similar to that game. So Little Hope is what I've been playing. And then, of course, if you've already played Little Hope, I hope you pick up and try House of Ashes, which is based in the Arabian Desert, of course. So yeah, and in the game, it's interesting when you're in the library with that caretaker guy. He goes up to some of the books, and he takes the book out off of the shelf for Little Hope, but on the right, next to that book for Little Hope, there's the symbol for House of Ashes. So this game came out last year. So it kind of gives you a clue as to the next game.
Oh, right on.
But of course that was last year, obviously. And then at the very end, after I finished the game, they show a trailer for House of Ashes, kind of like the the very first trailer that came out for it. So if you're going to play House of Ashes, I would presume when you have the caretaker go up to pick the book off of the shelf, watch out, because you're probably going to get a clue as to the next game that's going to come after House of Ashes. Because as we talked about last week, Burly, I think it was this series of the Dark Pictures anthology, there's 8 games altogether that they're making in this series. And House of Ashes, the new game that just came out, is the 3rd game. So Little Hope was the 2nd game. So yeah, so probably you'll get a clue as to what the next game could be if you play House of Ashes as well. But yeah, Little Hope, if you haven't played that yet, try it out. It's pretty fun. A few jump scares, like I said, but yeah, a typical horror game from Supermassive Games. So Burly, what have you been playing, man?
I've been playing Metroid Dread, aka it could be called Almost Break Your Controller Simulator. It is a lot of fun. I cannot recommend this as anyone's first Metroid, but if you're a Metroid fan, honestly recommend it. But just know they really jacked up the difficulty, and you have to learn not to get too frustrated with it. Mm-hmm. I need to heed my own advice at times, as my Twitch chat will know. So,
yeah, I haven't got back to this yet, but how much more difficult do the EMMIs become?
Oh, they get more difficult because later ones have different little tricks and abilities that can make getting away from them a pain.
I see.
But it's still very satisfying when you get that Omega Cannon and you can blow one up.
Oh, yeah. And that must be way later in the game, though, right? When you get that Omega Cannon, right?
Well, how it works is after you get far enough in one EMMI section, you can fight a little boss that you're going to refight every time.
Okay.
And it'll give you a Mega Cannon. And then you use it once on one EMMI, and then it's dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still early in the game because I went on to play Little Hope, so I'm planning to get back to it. But from what you've been telling me about the difficulty level in this game, man, I'm like, I don't know if I want to go back to it or not now. Yeah. So
I think you'll be fine. You just have to know your moments of just breathe and all that.
Yeah.
I'm also making it a little harder because with streaming it is one factor, but I'm also streaming it with Streamloots on, and my chat likes to play cards of you can only use one hand on your controller for 2 minutes, or hands up for 5 seconds.
Don't you hate that, man? Don't you hate that? It's like,
oh yeah, I love it. I especially love it when I'm on a good run of a boss, and certain members of my chat that I love them, but love to. Yeah. Hey, he's doing good. We can't have that.
Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah.
But I'm hoping to either finish this game Sunday or Tuesday of next week.
Cool. All right. Anything else, or has it just been Metroid Dread?
It's just been Metroid Dread.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into the news, Burly. So the first topic I want to go over tonight, of course, earlier this week we got the nominations for the Golden Joystick Awards for 2021. So I want to go over some of those. You can basically go to gamesradar.com and you can check out the list of awards. So I just want to go over a few of them with you, Burly. So I'm going to scroll down here. Let's see. So Best Storytelling. So it's basically the first one on the list there. So the nominees for Best Storytelling for the Golden Joysticks are Life is Strange, True Colors, Psychonauts 2, Wildermyth, 12 Minutes, Chicory, A Colorful Tale, and Tales of Arise. So, I don't know. Of course, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I mentioned I think the best narrative of this year, the best storytelling was in Lost Judgment. but I'm not surprised it's not on this list of in this particular category.
Yeah.
But I guess if I had to choose from these nominees, I'd probably give it to Psychonauts 2 for storytelling. I don't know. What about you, Burly?
I agree. Psychonauts 2. I really like the storytelling in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all, I would give Psychonauts 2, and I would give 12 minutes close to my second.
Okay. Let's go ahead and scroll down here a little bit more. I want to go to best performer. Best performer in a game. Jason Kelly as Colt Vaughn in Deathloop. Now, Burly, you played Deathloop, so what did you think of Jason Kelly's performance as Colt?
He did a really good job. So I can understand why he's on this list.
Okay. And I can contest to Erika Mori for her portrayal of Alex Chin in Life is Strange: True Colors. She was amazing in that game. I wouldn't be surprised if she wins this, but anyway, the rest of the list here: Maggie Robinson as Lady Dimitrix in Resident Evil Village.
Internet was obsessed with.
Yeah. Go ahead, Burly. You were going to say obsessed with.
I was obsessed with Lady Demonstrator.
Okay.
Oh God.
Ozoima Akaga, Juliana Blake in Deathloop. Jennifer Hale. Burly.
I was going to say she did a great job as Juliana in Deathloop.
Okay. Jennifer Hale as Rivet in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And finally, Elijah Wood in Gristle Nick the Post Guy in Psychonauts 2. So, yeah, I would still say Erika Mori. I mean, she was amazing in that game, I thought. But, yeah.
For me, it'd be Jennifer Hale. But I actually did... That took me a while to notice that was Elijah Wood for Psychonauts 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to PlayStation Game of the Year. So this is really interesting. So Returnal, Deathloop, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, and I'm going to mention something that our other co-host, Turn-Based Carl, mentioned to me in the Discord. I'll read that here in a second. But Death Stranding Director's Cut, Kena Bridge of Spirits. So, which would you pick from this list of nominees, Burly? PlayStation Game of the Year.
Rift Apart.
So far. Rift Apart. Okay. Returnal, no way. I'm sure it's a great game, but it's not my cup of tea, especially the roguelite. Deathloop, I haven't played. I would probably have to say either Ratchet and Clank or Kena. Or Kena. I'm sorry, not Kena.
I was going to
Bridge
call you out.
Yeah, Kena. I'm sorry. Kena Bridge of Spirits. Visually, yeah, probably Ratchet and Clank would have a little bit of an edge there, I think. But I really enjoyed Kena Bridge of Spirits. So,
Kena was a great game.
Okay, Nintendo Game of the Year. Burly, I'm going to leave this one to you here. New Pokemon Snap. Pokemon! Neo, The World Ends With You. Monster Hunter Rise. Bravely Default 2. WarioWare, Get It Together. Metroid Dread. Which one would you pick here? I guess for me, I would have to pick Metroid Dread. All right, yeah.
I was going to say, as much as Dread has been kicking my ass and making it hard, I would say that Bravely Default 2 I really enjoyed. It just doesn't do enough or new compared to the other games to make it stand out. And New Pokemon Snap, that was fun, but that's just one of those, to me, it was just one and done games.
Yeah. Xbox Game of the Year. Now, this is where it really gets crazy now. Lost Judgment.
That was a 0 out of 10 game.
The Ascent, Psychonauts 2, Microsoft Flight Simulator, The Artful Escape, and 12 Minutes. Now, I don't understand this, but why is Lost Judgment on this list? And I'm going to go ahead and read what our other co-host, Turn-Based Carl, said. He was saying that, because I mentioned to him that Lost Judgment on the Xbox nominees list, and he's like, yeah, it's strange. They chose a bunch of exclusives, which makes sense, but then picked Resident Evil Village for PlayStation and Lost Judgment for Xbox, neither of which have any affiliation to the platforms. The Ascent should be replaced with Death's Door, and Death Stranding DLC should be replaced with Psychonauts 2. That was our other co-host, Turn-Based Carl, his comment on these nominees. Yeah, man. So, Lost Judgment, The Ascent, Psychonauts 2, Microsoft Flight Simulator, The Artful Escape, 12 Minutes. Lost Judgment should not be on this list. Obviously, all you listeners probably know, as for now, Lost Judgment is my game of the year. But Lost Judgment should not be on this, should not be a nominee in this category because it's not an Xbox game. So I would say Psychonauts 2. How about you, Burly?
Wow, you didn't go for the Lost Judgment, just give it to there. I would agree. Psychonauts 2.
Okay. And the last one we're going to go over here, best gaming hardware. PS5, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080, Nintendo Switch OLED, and WD Black SN850 NVMe SSD.
The 850, yeah. That one stunned me that was on there.
Yeah. What do you think, Burly? I guess I don't know, man. I'd probably have to say the Series X right now. I mean, when it comes to consoles, yeah. But
yeah, for me, I got to go PS5, but a close second, the Series S, just for that small little factor, the Game Pass, and that you can buy the dev mode, which now you don't even have to do because you can do emulators through the Edge browser.
Yeah, I guess PS5 would be my second choice, but it's weird. Okay, actually, let's go through one more here. Most wanted game: God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Halo Infinite, Marvel's Midnight Suns, GTA 5 Enhanced Edition. Why is that on this list? Skate 4, Elden Ring, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. There's a lot of games in this category here. Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild 2, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Starfield, Gotham Knights. Go ahead, Burly. Which one? I guess for me it would be God of War Ragnarok. On the Xbox side, it would be Halo Infinite. But yeah.
On the PlayStation side and overall, Horizon Forbidden West.
Ooh, okay.
That first game surprised the hell out of me. So it's like, whatever they're going to give for the second, they already have my money. Okay. For Nintendo, Pokemon Legends Arceus, because they're doing stuff different for Pokemon, which I'm like, finally.
Okay. And I'll just throw this last one in here then. Ultimate Game of the Year: Deathloop, Psychonauts 2, Resident Evil Village, Ratchet & Clank, Wildermyth, Hitman 3, The Forgotten City, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Why is Mass Effect Legendary Edition in here for Ultimate Game of the Year?
Because they can just put it up there again because it's a big name series.
Yeah, but it's not a new game. I mean, I don't care what people say. I don't care, whether it's visually enhanced or not. It's not a new game. So, yeah. That's just me. But I've heard a lot of people talk about It Takes Two, that it's just an amazing game.
I've seen it in action. This is one of these games I've been waiting to pick up when it goes on sale, and then I've got to get one of my buddies to sit in there and we stream it because you have to work together.
Yeah. I mean, It Takes Two, but I mean, as with Turn-Based Carl, our other co-host, I'd probably, of this list, I'd have to pick Psychonauts 2, probably. It's just an amazing game. It Takes Two, though, could be the sleeper here. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be in a lot of categories in the at the Game Awards, too.
It will be. And for me, it's Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart.
Okay. Yeah. So that is the list. Well, I mean, some of the list, that is, that we went over for the Golden Joystick Award nominees for 2021. So like I said before, I'll reiterate this. You can check out the list on gamesradar.com, I should say. So gamesradar.com. You can check out the entire list. Okay, Burly, let's go to the next topic here. So we're going to talk a lot of Xbox for a little bit here. So Xbox is turning 20, man. 20. Can you believe that? I could still believe like yesterday, man, when the original Xbox came out. But anyway, this is from the Xbox Wire. So they say, we invite you to join us on November 15th to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Xbox and Halo with a fun digital broadcast for fans around the globe. While we won't announce any new games, this anniversary broadcast will be a special look back at 20 years of Xbox. We'll share more details soon, so stay tuned. So, what do you think, Burly? I'm thinking that they're not going to show any new games, but I think they might show some new footage or some new information regarding games that have already been announced. What do you think?
Yeah, they've already said they're not showing any new games. But we're still going to get games we've already heard of, and Game Pass, day one on Game Pass. You're going to hear that a lot. Like, you can make a drinking game out of that.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what. Yeah, Carl's going to be looking forward to that for sure. Yeah, Game Pass. Yeah. Yeah. So that's
State of Decay 2 will get a giant thing. No.
Yeah. So. Yeah, man, 20 years of Xbox. I mean, and they've had their ups and downs. Obviously, now they're on the rise again. And, I'm pulling for them 100%. But, yeah, I mean, that Xbox One generation, it's like, that's the generation. Yeah, that's the generation that could, if you could just, erase one thing off of your slate, I think that's what Microsoft would probably want to do, erase the mistakes that they made during the Xbox One generation. But
that and the Red Ring of Death, those things were too talk about bad moves.
Yeah. So, but November 15th, we'll be looking forward to that to see what they talk about. And if they have any other announcements on previously talked about games that are going to be coming out soon. So maybe some more Starfield information. Who knows? We'll see. Maybe more stuff on Halo. We shall see. So let's go ahead and turn to, this is more on Xbox here. Speaking of Game Pass, kind of wish Carl was here for this, but maybe he'll say some things about this next week. But Xbox Game Pass subscriptions missed Microsoft's target. So this is from Axios and Stephen Totillo. So subscriber growth for Microsoft's signature gaming service, Xbox Game Pass, was slower than the company hoped for in the past year, according to a new financial filing. So by the numbers, for the 12 months it ended on June 30th, Xbox Game Pass subscriber growth was up 37%, but the company had set a 48% growth goal. So in the company's prior fiscal year, which ran from mid 2019 through mid 2020, so we kind of have to factor in the pandemic for that too. Game Pass subs were up 86%, exceeding a target of 71%. So, I don't know. What do you think of this, Burly? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's so negative about this in a sense. A lot of people are out there saying that, oh, it's like Game Pass. They're not getting the people that they want. They're not getting the subscribers. But it's 37% up, man. I mean, you knew as the pandemic starts to wane, those numbers are probably going to come down a little bit. But, 37% up and with a 48% growth goal, I mean, that's not too far off. What do you think, man?
Yeah, it's not too far off, only 11%. But you also got a factor. We're still in this pandemic. There are still people without work, without income. So people are trying to cut costs they can. Some people got to cancel. Some people are like, yeah, I'd love to do Game Pass, but I just can't afford it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that. But they're doing well with it. They're putting a lot of exclusives. They're getting great stuff on there. It's soon going to go to the whole Netflix thing of you really can't expand too much because all people that are going to be paying for it are already paying for it. And other people, I'm sure, are doing account sharing.
Yeah. And then you have a lot of people that are on the fence, too, that are like, we just want to wait until Starfield comes out, then we'll grab it. Or like in another month and a half when Halo Infinite comes out in December, we're like, okay, that's when we're going to get in.
Well, I know people that buy the dollar trials. That wait for the dollar trials, or especially when they do the holiday ones where $1 gets you 3 months. Because I got one guy that's going to do it for when a certain game, I'm sure we'll talk about later, the remasters that are coming on there, and for Halo and other stuff. I'm like, I just go in for when
Burly.
I want to.
Go ahead, Burly. Mention it now. What remasters are coming soon? Go ahead.
The Grand Theft Auto remasters.
Yeah.
They're coming November 11th digitally, and then like December 4th or 14th. Somewhere around there physically, but it's coming day one to PS Now and Game Pass, which surprised me. Not so much Game Pass. PS Now is getting it,
right.
But I know one guy because he's like, I don't want to spend $90 on Grand Theft Auto, so I'll just wait, get Game Pass cheap, play in for when I want, and cancel out when I have to.
Right. Yeah, I mean, 2022, and we're going to be talking about 2022 later on, but 2022 is going to be huge for Xbox, I think. I mean, just overall with Game Pass and everything, you have so many big exclusive games that are going to be coming out next year, too. So a lot more than have been coming out now. So it'll be interesting to see if Microsoft sets their growth goal higher than even 48%. I don't know if they'll do that, but I think their growth is going to be bigger than 37% when it comes to the end of next fiscal year. We shall see, but that's just my prediction because with all the stuff coming on down the pipeline for Xbox and coming to Game Pass day one, I mean, next year, especially early next year as well. We should see those numbers go up. So let's go ahead and move on to our next bit of news. And we talked about Starfield because potentially a lot of people are waiting for Starfield to come out before they might possibly join Game Pass. But there was a new story trailer for Starfield this last week, and it explains its universe. So this is from usatoday.com and by Kyle Campbell. I want to go ahead and read a little bit of this for you. Starfield is a highly anticipated RPG from Bethesda, and a new teaser trailer just came out about its backstory. Set in 2327 and roughly 50 light years beyond Earth's solar system, called the Settled Systems, Starfield's primary conflict centers around a war between the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective. I was going to say the United Colonies. It's like, I wonder if Master Chief's going to come along or something. Yeah, but of course it's like 200 years before Master Chief, I think. I think he's like 26th century or something like that, yeah. So players will explore this turbulent area of the Milky Way while hopefully not getting shot up by vicious mercenaries, spacers, pirates, and all sorts of unsavory folk. Think of the cantina scene in Star Wars A New Hope, but without Obi-Wan Kenobi watching your back, of course. So, so they showed this trailer for that. So at least we get a little bit of the backstory, Burly. At least we know kind of what time frame it's going to be set in and where. So what do you think, man?
Yeah, I'm great that I'm glad we got this. This is nice, because especially since this game is like a year out from now, as we know.
Yeah,
so
November
it's nice
11th. 2022.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they wouldn't have released this either at the 20th anniversary Xbox event or just November 11th. Just stealth drop this to be like 1 year from today. Starfield comes out and then give us this.
Yeah, they might still do something at the celebration event. Yeah,
I think they will. I think this is just a little small tease.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's helped getting me more excited for this. I can't wait. And I did look up Halo is 26th century.
Yeah, I was going to say, 25 something, I forget. But yeah, well, and it's coming to Game Pass day one, of course, Starfield. So like we just mentioned in the previous topic, a lot of people might jump into Game Pass then. We shall see. Okay, so let's move on to our next topic, and still on the Xbox side of things here. Don't expect VR gaming on the Xbox Series X. Are you surprised at that, Burly? I'm not.
No.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. VR, as much as PlayStation has put into it, VR has not taken off for anyone like huge, in my opinion. Microsoft tried with like Kinect and shit and has learned, okay, why dump the money into something like this that we know isn't going to take off and is going to be too hard to compete? Let's focus into Game Pass. Let's focus into other things. Better use of our time and money.
Yeah, I think VR on the PlayStation side of things, they've sold about 5 million units of VR headsets so far. So this is from Tom's Guide from Rory Mellon. So Microsoft confirms it has no plans to launch any VR hardware on Xbox Series X. So Phil Spencer made some comments, some unfavorable comments about VR in the past. In 2019, he called the technology isolating and claimed that, quote, nobody's asking for VR, end quote, in the Xbox community, although he did slightly backtrack on these remarks later. However, a recent Wall Street Journal interview again confirms that VR isn't seen as an area of interest for Xbox. When quizzed on Xbox's approach to VR, Spencer said, quote, we're focused a lot more on the software side of that right now. When I think about immersive worlds and I think about the connection of a player and community, that's something that's very high on our investment list. And then he goes on to say, quote, I think that the hardware innovation that's happening is great, and it's an important enabler, but right now I'm deciding to stay more in the software side of that enablement. I believe it will scale better in the long run, end quote. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just not something that they want to invest in. I mean, PlayStation, they're putting a lot of money into that. They think they can get more money out of, players that want to have the VR experience. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just, yeah, not a niche market that Xbox wants to get into, I guess. Yeah, Burly? Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't blame them. What do you think? Do you think it's worth them going into VR?
If the VR games are a lot more technologically advanced, I mean, right now we're in still the infancy of VR. I mean, yeah, you have the Oculus Quest, you have the, the other headsets, the
HTC
Vive,
Vive.
HTC Vive, but yeah, it's still in its infancy, man. I mean, just recently Mark Zuckerberg is like, I want to create the metaverse, and it's going to be, enveloped in VR. But I think VR is still a ways off, and I don't think Xbox wants to invest in that right now. I think if you had some really cool game, like say, for example, Half-Life Alyx, but say 10 to 20 years of advancement into that technology, I think they would probably want to invest in something like that. I think it's just way too early yet. I mean, if the games were more technologically advanced in a sense, like PlayStation owners would probably have more headsets right now, only, rather than only 5 million units sold out of the 110 million PlayStation users. So it's still in its infancy. And I just think it's going to be a while before the mass majority of gamers are going to jump into that type of platform, and I think Phil Spencer and I think Xbox realize that, and they just don't want to put any money into that right now. So I think, of anything, augmented reality, AR, is going to be something they're going to focus on more than VR, but we'll see.
And I can understand that, but the funny thing, because I know people that are really heavy into it, but then they find out, like Half-Life Alyx, I think it was like 1 or 2 months after that game came out.
Yeah.
People had found ways to get it that you can play it without VR. And they were like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
So it's like people are always finding the ways to play these games without VR. So it's like,
right.
VR is really not necessary. Why go down that rabbit hole? I agree, it's too much in its infancy. Maybe in 15 to 20 years, it'll be the mind-blowing, oh my god, you have to play this, but
yeah,
it's
as
smart
a PlayStation.
For them it's smart for them not to go in this market. Focus in Game Pass, get studios, get on that, because that's what people like. You're getting good press with that.
Yeah.
And people are liking that. Stick with that compared to trying to go down a market that's going to be way too tough.
Yeah, and of course, with PlayStation, on the PlayStation side of things, you have PlayStation investing in studios that have experience with making VR tech games. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Let me ask you this, Burly, as a PlayStation player, along with myself. I know our other co-host, Turn-Based Carl, he's not into VR, but are you interested in picking up the second generation VR headset when it comes out, which is probably going to be coming out next year? What do you think?
I'm interested to see what they'll do with it. You have to do a lot before I'd want to pick that up, because I've got to be honest, I don't have the biggest space. So I got to try and figure out where can I put these wires and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, to do a good setup for VR, it's like,
Well, supposedly this new VR headset that Sony's making right now is supposed to have more accurate tracking via a new orb-like controller as well. So, yeah. They're calling it like the NGVR headset.
yeah. I remember reading that a while back.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We shall see. And looking forward to seeing what the design looks like when it's finally, announced and shown, which will probably be sometime early next year. If it's going to come out next year, they're probably going to show a photo of it probably in the first quarter of next year, I would imagine. So, yeah. So, okay, Burly. So that's enough of Xbox for now. So let's talk about another game that's being delayed. Elden Ring is being delayed to February 25th, 2022. Another game delay, and it's Elden Ring this time. Oh my god. All right. Yeah. Like you were really surprised at this, right? I mean, come on.
I wasn't surprised, but I got to give a little story here. I may have told this on the podcast prior, but I was looking close that this game may not have been delayed because we're at the end of October and it was coming like mid to end January. I had made a bet with another streamer, shout out to Soulstraw. He was saying they never delay their games, and it was going to come at the end of January. I have a Twitch clip for when I was streaming Ratchet and Clank. We have a 5 sub bet, and I won the bet. I was like, no, that game's going to get delayed, and we got that. And I know he wasn't too happy when he got the DM from me showing him the articles on this.
Yeah. So this is from Mike Minotti over at VentureBeat. So I'm going to read a little bit of this. The announcement of the delay also did note that, quote, closed network test, end quote, will be available in November. So some players will get to try the game before year's end. So From Software has become a popular developer thanks to its Souls series, which emphasized challenging combat and deep character progression in thematic worlds. And of course, shout out to Soulstraw, a friend of mine as well over on Twitch. I have to imagine Soulstraw, Dark Souls. Okay.
Oh, he's heavy into these Souls games. Like, just to get off, like when Demon Souls came out, he hadn't played Demon Souls in forever. He did a level 1 no HUD run. So he wouldn't level up, and he couldn't see the boss's health nor his. Yeah. This, like, he's a master at those games. Yeah.
So Elden Ring, of course, it's going to be a Souls-like game, just like Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro. Yes, all from Software. So yeah, I don't know, man. 1 month. What do you think, Burly? I mean, do you think it's only minor changes or minor things, minor fixes they have to work on, or is this like we're not telling everybody, but we're just going to delay it for a month and then see how it goes? We might have to delay it again. What do you think, man?
I think they're just trying to ping George R. R. Martin and get all the incest out of the plot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was a good one, Burly. That was a good one. Yeah.
I should have seen that coming. But like, I think because this has got the network capabilities, and I did play Demon Souls. I know that was Blue Point did that, but they kind of put it the way the original did. The online system is not the greatest at those games. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the major hiccup, but only 1 month. It could get delayed again.
Yeah.
And I think it probably will, but I wasn't willing to take the risk of the bet that I won.
Yeah. Well, it could be delayed again because of what we're going to discuss now, rolling into our topic of the show. I don't think it's going to be Elden Ring that's going to flinch, but our topic of the show is February 2022, and it's become a conundrum in the world of video games for a lot of people thinking, what the hell am I going to play in February now? February 2022. There are so many games coming, and I'm going to read you some of the list of these games. So here we go. You got Life is Strange Remastered Collection. That's coming. So any of you who haven't played Life is Strange, these are some excellent games. Dying Light 2, Stay Human. So Dying Light 2, that's on board for February as well. So the sequel to Dying Light, which is an amazing game. If you have not played Dying Light, I highly recommend it, especially during the Halloween season. Yeah, it's a fun game to play. Dynasty Warriors 9, Empires, that's coming. The King of Fighters 15, also coming. So, yeah. Relayer is coming. It's a tactical role-playing game. So, Token Ranbu Warriors is also coming. Here's the big one, though. Horizon Forbidden West.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, from Sony Interactive Entertainment, PS4 and PS5. So all those PS4 players who have not had a chance to get a PS5 yet, you're going to be able to play this. I honestly hope your PS4 does not blow up while you play this game.
Oh, the thing's going to go off like a jet engine.
I'm telling you, man.
If my base PS4 did that with Ghost of Tsushima,
God,
this game is.
Yeah. I would not want to risk playing it on a PS4. I mean, if your PS4 is running well, go for it. I mean, if you don't have a PS5 yet. Next up, Destiny 2: The Witch Queen. So more expansion content for Destiny 2. Monarch is coming. It's a RPG from Nintendo of America. So Sifu was also delayed. That is PS5 beat 'em up. Also for PS4 and Windows. So yeah, that's coming. Assetto Corsa Competizione. So it's from 505 Games. It's a racing game. So maybe the Italian circuit or somewhere. Crystar, that's also coming. Atelier Sophia 2, The Alchemist of the Mysterious Dream. I just love these long titles that these Japanese games come out with. So funny. Again, here's the one we've been talking about. Of course, and on the same day, Elden Ring and Saints Row 2. Or Saints Row. The reboot of Saints Row.
Remaster.
Yeah. It's kind of like a rebooted, kind of a new type of Saints Row. And believe me, if Elden Ring stays at that date, Saints Row is going to be buried.
Oh, yeah.
I think. Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Yep. Dragon Quest X the following day. Dragon Quest X Offline is coming.
I think that's Japan only. The offline. Because that's the offline only, yeah, because many people have been wanting Dragon Quest X over here.
Okay. Next up, same day, Kaiju Wars. Blood Bowl 3 is also coming. Evil Dead the game. Guild Wars 2, End of Dragons, and finally Vampire the Masquerade, Swan Song. Yeah, ton of games, man. I mean, I don't know if I've ever known of a month, particularly in gaming, Burly, where we've had this many games coming on a particular month. This is huge.
Yeah.
I mean,
but realistically, how many of these are you honestly gonna touch and play?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like,
yeah,
for me, Horizon, I have that pre-ordered. Elden Ring, I'm gonna get talked into it anyway, so that one does interest me a bit. But I'm just gonna wait on reviews, and by reviews, Soul will play it day one and just watch him, and then get told I have to buy it.
Yeah. You know how I am with those types of games. So Elden Ring is, not my type of game.
Yeah.
I might play it just for the hell of it, just to see how terrible I am at it.
Play co-op.
Yeah. For me, I mean, Horizon Forbidden West and Dying Light 2 are the two games I want to play that month when February rolls around. But I don't think all these games are going to make it. I could honestly, Burly, I could still honestly see, but I was at Yodobashi Camera today over here in Japan. Yodobashi Camera is one of the biggest electronic store chains, and they're really starting to pump up the marketing campaign for Horizon Forbidden West. There's a ton of flyers and information out for that game now, and it's got that release date. So I think it's probably going to stick, but who knows, man? Who knows? I mean, which is going to flinch? Is it Elden Ring or Horizon? I mean, it's like a week apart, right? I think it's a week apart. So, yeah, I don't know, man.
Well, I think Saints Row will chicken out. I think that one will chicken out because they're like, okay, in that same month, we've got Dying Light 2. Yeah. Which I know Dying Light 1 was really popular. So you got that at the beginning of the month. Near the middle, you got Horizon. You got Elden Ring the same day. Yeah. Can I compete? Because Saints Row, I don't think is as big of a franchise. And I know they were going down in quality from what I heard. Right. So it's like, do we want to take our risk and put this here? March, I know, is kind of stacked. Do we just put this in another month to get ourselves a better chance? Yeah.
Yeah, I could see some of these games going to late spring, maybe. Like, maybe not even March, maybe April or so. Like Saints Row. Or, I don't know, but... I don't know. Do you think you can finish Horizon Forbidden West in a week before playing Elden Ring? I think that's that's the dilemma. That's a conundrum for a lot of gamers because there's a lot of gamers out there that are going to want to play both. And it's like, can I really, really finish this in a week?
Oh, but here's the thing. Like, I get that. For me, like, as a content creator, this is going to be a stacked and crazy month. Dying Light 2, I may check out and try. Like, I still have to try the first game. I know you've recommended it to me and a few others. So I'll definitely try to get to Dying Light 1 and then see as how Dying Light 2 comes out, maybe pick that up. Yeah. But like Horizon, I'm probably going to take a vacation day or two and just play and use that whole weekend to just stream and have fun. I'm not in no rush to finish it. If I don't finish it by the time Elden Ring comes out, I don't. I'm going to keep just playing and then go to Elden Ring afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. And we have to factor in, too, there's a lot of people out there that are not even interested in Horizon or, like, Elden Ring. They're more into fighting games, for example, like King of Fighters 15. That's a game that's probably on their radar more than anything. Or like hack and slash type of games with Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires.
Those games, those Dynasty Warrior games, they're fun and they're a blast. Like if you need to just kill time and you just want to let your anger out and beat the shit out of a bunch of things, those games are great. Like I buy one every couple of years of the different skins, like the One Piece, the Zelda skins. Buy them every couple of years, and it's just fun to just play and just have a lot of fun smashing a bunch of enemies.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting once February rolls around, Burly, when we're doing the podcast here and we're like looking back at this episode, and it's like how many of these games actually chickened out and moved out of February. So it'll be interesting to see which ones. Yeah. So. Okay, so let's move on to the new game releases for the week of October 25th through the 31st. So I know next week is going to be our Halloween episode on the 30th, but this episode will be going through the games that are coming out through Halloween, okay, on the 31st. So, Burly, I will let you start. So we're focusing on the website releases.com. for the games of October, so the 25th through the 31st, I should say. Which is your most recommended game for this week's list?
For me, it will be Pumpkin Jack, coming out Wednesday, October 27th.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say Pumpkin Jack.
I'll explain. Wednesday, October 27th. It is this update's coming for the PS5 and the Series X versions. Mm-hmm. And the nice thing is, if you have it for PS4 or Xbox One, you get the upgrade for free.
Ooh, nice.
Pumpkin Jack is a spooky, scary 3D platform in which you embody Jack, the mythical pumpkin lore. Dive into an epic adventure through the otherworldly landscapes and help the evil annihilate the good. Who doesn't like annihilating good?
Yeah.
This game, I have seen it streamed. This is actually a game I'm streaming on Halloween.
Awesome.
So,
cool.
I had to pick that.
Okay. All right. So, my turn for my most recommended game for this week. Burly, you know I'm a historian, right?
Yep.
I have degrees in Japanese history. Yeah. Also studied Roman history and American history. But of course, I focused on Japan. So what do you think game I'm going to recommend here from this list? Take a wild guess. I love studying empires.
I was gonna say Guardians, but that's fictional.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to go Star Wars Jedi Collection. Because
shut up, Burly! No, come on. No. Okay. I'll go ahead and give you the answer. Age of Empires 4. I figure, hey, I got to give a shout out to all the PC players and all our PC gaming lovers out there. So this is going to be coming also to Game Pass for PC day 1 on the 28th. Yeah. So those of you that have an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription, you also have the PC Game Pass for PC as well. So Age of Empires 4, man. Let me go ahead and read this for you. This is coming out for PC on the 28th. And of course, you know, if you have the Game Pass for PC, you can grab it as well. One of the most beloved real-time strategy games returns to glory with Age of Empires 4, putting you at the center of epic historical battles that shape the world, featuring both familiar and innovative new ways to expand your empire in vast landscapes with stunning 4K visual fidelity. Age of Empires 4 brings an evolved real-time strategy game to a new generation. Return to history. The past is prologue as you are immersed in a rich historical setting of a diverse civilization across the world, from the English to the Chinese to the Delhi Sultanese, in your quest for victory. Build cities, manage resources, and lead your troops to battle on land and at sea in 4 distinct campaigns with 35 missions that spanned across 500 years of history, from the Dark Ages up to the Renaissance. So yeah, amazing stuff. Yeah, I'd love to take Genghis Khan and destroy everybody else, the Mongols. Yeah, but
I'll take Lord Jin Sakai to stop the
fictional. Yeah. Genghis Khan and actually invade Japan. Sorry, all you Japanese listeners out there. We all love you. But maybe they would conquer Japan, which they were not able to do on 2 different occasions, which Burly learned playing Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah.
Well, fine. So anyway. I'll go with the other Japanese hero, Erdrick / Lodo. For you Japanese listeners, you should know who that is.
Okay. So, what other game would you want to recommend on this list, Burly? Anything? A lot of stuff this week. A lot. There's I was going to say that 30 plus games on the list this week. It's huge. What about Mario Party Superstars coming out on the 29th?
Yeah, that one I'm looking forward to because you can do multiplayer. And since Nintendo did what they did with their online expansion, they sold me out of that and are starting to sell me back into Mario Party Superstars. But if you wouldn't have said Age of Empires, that would have been my second.
Okay. Yeah. I have no idea what this game is all about, but I really like the name of it. It's coming at the end of the month for Switch. Into Despair, Brain Meltdown.
Ooh.
Yeah, it sounds like fun. Especially on Halloween, your brain's going to melt, right? So why not play a game that it's going to melt your brain, right? So, so many games coming out. Fatal Frame, Maiden of Blackwater on the 28th. That looks like an interesting one as well for all of you looking for horror games to play for Halloween. Yeah, and like Burly was saying, of course. Yeah. And as Burly was saying, of course, Pumpkin Jack. That's a good one too. So, yeah. So Virtuaverse. Yeah, that looks interesting. Yeah, coming out on the 28th for PS4, Xbox One. So yeah, lots of stuff. Yeah, Truck Driver. Yeah, if you like driving trucks, there you go. Comes out on October 30th for Series X and PlayStation.
We know Carl's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, that's right. Guardians of the Galaxy is coming out, on the 26th. Yeah. And I posted on Twitter, and I posted it to Carl as well. There's a big poster now in Yodobashi Camera here. And I mentioned this earlier in the show. Of course, Yodobashi Camera is one of the largest electronics store chains here in Japan. And in the game section, they have a big poster they just put up for Guardians of the Galaxy. It's coming out on the 26th. And on the promotion, it's only PS4, PS5. Of course, no Xbox. Because why would they? Why would they, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm telling you now, all you listeners, I love Xbox and I want them to succeed here in Japan. And I know a lot of other podcasts and a lot of others on Twitter are talking about how Xbox is doing much better in Japan. And they are doing better. But I'm telling you right now, if Xbox is going to succeed, they got to put more pressure on the electronic store chains to put more of their products front and center with PlayStation and Nintendo items. Because in most stores here in Japan, Xbox products, Xbox software is in the far back of the corner of the electronics gaming sections. They are not going to succeed in getting more consoles sold and getting more software sold, especially, when you have a lot of players out here that are still buying physical copies of games when you can't find them. The first thing when you walk into a store like this, like Yodobashi, tons of Nintendo aisles, 2 or 3 aisles of Nintendo stuff, 2 or 3 aisles of PlayStation stuff. And then in the far back corner is one little aisle of Xbox. That's not going to fly, man.
So it was it's like the Vita was over here. The little shoe closet of 2 rows.
Yeah. So, Xbox is doing better. And of course, you have more people that are using, Amazon or like Rakuten. Rakuten out here in Japan is pretty popular. It's similar to Amazon. So you can find Xbox, products on those websites, but a lot of people still walk into the stores. And for Xbox to really, really do better out here in Japan, they're going to have to put more pressure on the electronic store chains to get their products to be put front and center with PlayStation and Nintendo. And it's going to be hard to do that, I know, but they got to try harder. Because they could be doing a lot better. They are doing better, but they could be doing a lot better. Especially right now, but it's when you walk into a store, how can you find Xbox when it's all the way in the back? First thing you see is a Switch OLED and the PS5. So anyway, that's hopefully that changes, but we shall see. So that's the new game releases for this week as well. So now I want to move on, Burly, to our question and comment section. So for our listeners, you have an opportunity, of course, to give questions and comments. We have a Discord for the podcast called the Arena Podcast. So any of you that are out there that have a Discord account and want to join and talk about video games and what's on your mind about the podcast or give suggestions for the show, you can find us there. And, of course, you can also go to our Podbean site and leave us comments, as well as on Patreon. But this one's from Discord, and it's from our friend of the show, Tuwheel. And this one, Burly, is about the topic of last week's Nintendo online expansion. So he talks about this. He says, I miss Virtual Console. I'm tempted to buy Nintendo 64 games on the Wii U instead of paying for a subscription. If Nintendo had Virtual Console, I know I would spend way over $50 on old games, but not a big fan of Nintendo Switch Online, and the expansion pass at $50 a year sucks. If it was treated like DLC, where it was a one-time buy, I would pay $50 for it. What do you think of that? Of what Tuwheel says there?
Yeah, and I can totally get it. And it's sad that he's considering having to pull out the Wii U and wanting to buy these games on Virtual Console instead of Nintendo. Nintendo has not done online accounts well. Like, people really got mad that, okay, I bought stuff on the Wii. To get it transferred to the Wii U, I gotta pay this one little service fee to get them in my Wii U, just to come in the one menu. But like, people bought Virtual Console games on the 3DS. They don't transfer over. Like, Nintendo is good at just trying to milk you out of your money.
Yeah.
And they never price drop shit, as we've talked about in the past. Like, Nintendo has had the worst of the online services. They want you to use a third-party app on your phone to talk. Like, it's not like on the Xbox or PlayStation, you can do party chats right away. Like, PlayStation, they have a mic in their controller. It's not the greatest thing, but at least they gave you something. Nintendo doesn't do that. Nintendo, hell, if you have, I think it's the Pro Controller, you can't even plug a mic in. You're never going to use that Nintendo app. I've been told it's crap. You're going to use Discord, whatever other Teams, Zoom, whatever other thing you use to chat with your buddies. Yeah. Nintendo's charging a premium for a service, and they're not giving premium back.
Yeah, it's a wasted opportunity for them. I think Nintendo could be putting so much more up there and charging so much less for this. Like I said in last week's episode, I think this is going to just move people into more emulating of games and just brushing off this service. We shall see, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be emulating. I will emulate on my Series S, my PC, or on my Steam Deck. I am not paying this premium to get these games that are so old, and that, like, in terms of the Genesis one, you can buy that collection cheap on every console and Steam. So giving Genesis games is not a thing to be like, ooh, this is where we can play these and get these at a bargain price. No, you can get those for you can get that collection $5 all the time.
Right.
You just wait, look.
Right. So I want to thank Tuwheel for that comment. And of course, all of you listeners, you can leave us comments at the sites that we talked about earlier, on our Discord at the Arena Podcast, and also, of course, our Podbean website, and also on Patreon. And wherever you listen to your podcasts if that service is available. So now I want to talk about some announcements for our new show that's coming to Patreon in early access for 2 days. And then, of course, going up to our YouTube channel at the Arena Citadel for gaming, entertainment, and pop culture. The new show is called the Sci-Fi Movie Reaction Terminal. So Burly and I and Turn-Based Carl, we're also going to be doing reaction videos for new science fiction movies that are going to be coming out. And coming up on Monday, we're going to be recording our first episode, and it's going to be on the movie Dune. Of course, the new Dune film that's out now that just was released and also on HBO Max. So, Burly, you're going to see it tonight, right? Your time.
Yeah, set 7 p.m. tonight.
Yep. So, we're going to be discussing that in our first episode. So, hope you can check that out. It's going to be on Patreon at patreon.com/thearena_podcast for the first 2 days in video format, of course, in early access. And then it will go it will also go public after the second day. And we'll go to the Arena Citadel YouTube channel. So, yeah, please check that out. Okay. So, next up, where you can find me on social media. Before we conclude this episode, I want to tell you where you can find me on social media. My general content creator site is at expat2020.live. My YouTube channel for gaming and podcast content, named Expat YouTube Gaming, is at youtube.com/expat2020gaming. And the podcast channel for gaming, entertainment, and pop culture is at youtube.com/thearena citadel. My other social media links to Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, the Arena Podcast Discord server, and the podcast websites are at Linktree. That's at linktr.ee/expat2020. So that does it for me. Burly, where can people find you on social media, man?
You can find me on Twitter at BurlyMenGaming and on Twitch, twitch.tv/BurlyMenGaming.
And what are you going to be playing this next week, Burly?
Well, the plan is Dread on Sunday to hopefully finish it. Monday, Phasmophobia. And if we do finish Dread on Sunday, then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe Friday, the first Dead Space.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching you play Dead Space. It's an amazing game. It's probably the best survival horror sci-fi game that's ever been made. That's just my opinion. But yeah, for me, I'm going to try to get into Code Veronica X, Resident Evil Code Veronica X, which is one of the games with gold for this month on Xbox. PlayStation, I'll probably still play some Lost Judgment, some side quests, Lost Judgment. And I'm not really sure what else I'm going to be playing yet. I'll probably go back to Metroid Dread on the Switch, try to make some more progress in that as well. So, yeah. All right. So, before we end the episode, our indie recording artist spotlight. So this week's spotlight is on Dimitrix. Dimitrix is one of the most unique artists in his field, known for his original ways of designing sound and creating music. He focuses on the future, but at the same time maintains temporality, diversity, and addictive creativity. Despite his young age, he managed to gain experience in several different genres, such as electronic, R&B, hip-hop, and pop, until finally uniting them into his personality. From his album titled Off the Grid, and the song is called I've Been Thinkin', featuring Lullaby. This has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, episode 59. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burly of BurlyMenGaming on Twitch, and our other co-host, Turn-Based Carl. He will be back with us next week. So take care, everyone. Peace out.
I've been thinking about you. 아무리 고개 흔들어도 난 네 생각만 하고 있을 뿐. 아무리 딴짓해봐도 난 너의 목소리만 들릴 뿐. 괜찮겠지 다른 애들보다 내가 훨씬 단단하게 걸어가면 다들 속닥 속닥 My confidence is shooting through the roof 아무리 고개 흔들어도 난 이 생각만 하고 있을 뿐 아무리 딴짓해봐도 난 너의 목소리만 들릴 뿐 있으면 here with me 가득 심장이면 please tell me 빨리 고백해볼까 눈 감고 말해볼까 미치겠어 only you 이런 건 처음이야 너무 설렘이 좀 나 I've been thinking about it I've been thinking about you boy Yeah yeah all I think about is you boy all I think about Yeah 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 all I think about is you boy all I think about Yeah yeah 내 맘 아는 사람 손들어 하여 우리 누난 완벽한 lover 내 맘 아는 사람 손들어 하여 우리 누난 완벽한 lover Hey boy I can sleep at night So 내가 한번 해봐 이리 와서 Hey boy I can sleep at night So 내가 한번 해봐 이리 와서 I've been thinking I've been thinking I've been thinking I've been thinking about you I've been thinking I've been thinking I've been thinking I've been thinking about you